Good morning and welcome to the Tokyo Marathon 2026, the first race in the Abbott World Marathon Majors Series 18. My name is Brett Larner, editor of Japan Running News, and I'll be your host here for what looks like a set of excellent races on a bright and sunny morning. The Abbott World Marathon Majors is a one-year series consisting of some of the world's top marathons, including Tokyo, Boston, London, Sydney, Berlin, Chicago, and New York City, along with the Olympic, Paralympic marathons, the World Athletics World Championships, and the World Para-Athletics Championships. Tokyo Marathon 2026 is the first race of Series 18. The top 5 athletes in each category score points based on their finishing position in each race. At the Tokyo Marathon 2026, the total prize pool of $410,000 US will be awarded to the top finishers. Let's take a look at some of the relevant records. The world record in the men's marathon, 2 hours 35 seconds by the late Kelvin Kiptum in Chicago 2023. The Japanese national record, freshly set by Suguru Osako last December in Valencia, 2:04:55, and our course record, 2:02:16 by Benson Kipperto 2 years ago. On the women's side, the world record, 2:09:56 by Ruth Jepnetich in Chicago 2024. The Japanese national record, an excellent 2:18:59 by Honami Maeda at the Osaka International Women's Marathon 2024, and our course record, 2:15:55 by two-time defending champion Sutume Asafa Kebede, back to go for a new course record and the three-peat. See our wheelchair athletes on the line, just minutes away from the start. We'll get a little bit more into an introduction of the wheelchair field a bit later, but we do have some excellent competitors this year. One feature in the race this year, in the wheelchair race, is the wheelchair marathon, Abbott World Marathon Majors bonus points. Set at the 10-kilometer mark. This is a sprint competition within the marathon. The fastest male and female athlete at the 10-kilometer point earn an additional 8 points for their standing points in the Abbott World Marathon Majors series. Given the downhill nature of the first 5 kilometers of the Tokyo course, that can be a very exciting first 10 kilometers indeed. Looking at our wheelchair field, headlined by world record holder Marcel Hug of Switzerland. Looks like we have a bit of surprising news there. A late DNS by course record holder, defending champ, and Japanese national record holder Tomoki Suzuki. So that really throws the race heavily in Marcel Hug's favor. Suzuki was expected to be his main competition in the race today. On the women's side, of course, world record holder Catherine de Brunner of Switzerland, also the course record holder here. Her main competition, all-time number 2 by 1 second, Aidan Rainbow Cooper of Great Britain, and Switzerland's Manuel Schär. Beautiful shot there of the Shinjuku area, Nishi Shinjuku area of Tokyo, and the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, site of the start line of the Tokyo Marathon. 30 seconds away from the start. Following the wheelchair race start, our elite marathoners will take to the line, followed by the masses, almost 40,000 runners in the field this year, making Tokyo one of the world's largest marathons. Here we have our guest starters there. We'll do an introduction to them momentarily. 3 seconds to go to the start of the wheelchair race at the 2026 Tokyo Marathon, and our wheelchair race is underway. It's a little bit of a technical first kilometer, especially for the wheelchair race in the Tokyo Marathon, where we have several, I want to say 5 sharp corners within the first kilometer before heading out onto that long downhill section leading to the 5-kilometer mark. So once they navigate this first kilometer, you can expect things to really pick up. Our women's wheelchair field, along with the top 3 internationals, De Bruyne, Shar, and Rainbow Cooper, also features Japanese national record holder Tsubasa Nakamine. And wasting no time, the heavy-duty favorite in the men's race, Marcel Hug, straight out in the lead within the first kilometer. Right there behind him, Liu Jingchuan of China, ranked number 3, or actually with Suzuki's withdrawal, ranked number 2 in the field. So no surprise at all to see them. Our weather conditions, quite warm at the start. Comfortable, I guess, warm for this time of year, 10.9 degrees with a north-northeast wind of 2 meters per second, sunny skies. North-northeast wind means basically for the first part of the race, and then critically the last 5 kilometers of the race, will be facing a headwind that is expected to pick up to around 4 meters per second later in the race. Temperatures at the time of our top finishers coming in are expected to be in the 15 to 16 degree range. So sunny, maybe a little bit warmer and windier than ideal, but we'll see how that shakes out. And our top 3 men in the wheelchair race have navigated the more technical part of the first kilometer, heading out onto Yasukuni Doi for that long, long straight and downhill first 5 kilometers. Marcel Hug of Switzerland out front. Luo Jingchuan of China right there off his shoulder. Tailed a bit by our top Japanese entrant, Hiroki Kishizawa. Bit of a surprise to see Kishizawa up here with Hug and Luo. And equally surprised not to see some of the other international competitors in the field, especially Dutch duo Platt and Schipper going with them, but still early in the race. Very early in the race, of course. Speaking of races, let's get back to our elite marathon. On the line there, our defending champion, Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia, saying in the press conference he wants to go sub 2:03, which would be a first for him. Some of his toughest competition, Japan-based Alexander Mutiso, the 2024 London champion. Another 2:03 runners, Vincent Kepkemoi Nedic, Jeffrey Toritich, many more. Past 2023 Tokyo champion Chalu Deso, also in the field. Top Japanese entrants, national record holder Suguru Osako, all-time number 2 Kengo Suzuki, debut marathon record holder Ryo Takondo, our top Japanese man from last year at Tsubasa Ichiyama, and many more. Our women's field, headlined by past Tokyo champ and former world record holder Bridget Kosuge, the number 1 rank Howie Fesa, our course record holder, 2-time winner Sutume Asafakebede, and 2023 winner Rosemary Wanjiru of Kenya. Pace groups, we'll talk a little bit more about what these mean a bit later, but we have 3 groups targeting 2:01, 2:03, 2:05 in the men's race. Women's, we have a course record front group going for 2:15, 2 other sub 2:20 groups, and then a 4th group going for 2:22. Again, we'll talk a little bit about those after the race gets underway. And about to get the race underway is, of course, the governor of Tokyo, Yuriko Koike, at the spectacular start line in front of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government buildings. And the Tokyo Marathon 2026 elite and mass participation races are underway on a beautiful sunny day. Again, conditions right now pretty good. We're expecting it to get maybe a little bit warmer than ideal towards the finish when these races will be coming, when the top finishers in these races will be coming to the finish, and possibly a headwind, a moderate headwind over that last 5 kilometers. One other factor, if you've ever visited Japan this time of year, particularly Tokyo, you know that pollen allergies can be a serious issue, given the predominance of cedar trees west of the city, and that really became an issue for people in the city yesterday. One of the top Japanese women in the race, Yumi Yoshikawa and her coach Shimada told us that they're quite concerned about the potential impact of pollen on the race today. Spectacular shot there that really gives you a great idea of just the sheer depth of top-tier Japanese marathons. We have a really quality international field here, but just as far as the eye can see, you have Japanese runners. Sub 210 level, sub 212 level, going down and down and down. We mentioned there'll be several different pace groups here. So the top group in the men going out for course record pace. Our defending champion, Tadase Takele, said that he does hope to run 2:02, something that hasn't been achieved yet by any of the members in the field. Fastest PBs in the field are all in the 2:03 range, belonging to 2024 London champ Alexander Matiso. Last year's third placer, Vincent Kepkamoy-Nedic, our defending champ Tadase Takele. Jeffrey Torotic with an excellent 2:03:30 win in Amsterdam last fall. And on and on and on. But let's cut away from that to take a look at our course here at the Tokyo Marathon. So the Tokyo Marathon's course is one of the fastest in the world. The Japanese men's national record has broken here twice in the past. So the race starts in Shinjuku with the first 5 kilometers significantly downhill. Runners hit the first turnaround point on the course just past the 10-kilometer point in Ueno Hirokoji. After passing through Akihabara, the course heads to Asakusa, where you can see the Tokyo Skytree and many other famous landmarks. After going across the Kuramae Bridge at 20 kilometers, the course heads to the next turnaround point at Monzen Nakacho. The pacemakers drop out on the way back at the 30-kilometer point. Runners then pass through the fashionable Ginza district, approaching the final turnaround point near Tamachi with 5 kilometers to go. Potentially running into a headwind then towards the finish. Runners will finish in front of the iconic Tokyo Station's Marunouchi side, 42.195 kilometers through the very heart of Tokyo. So back to our front pack in the men's race here. Again, we do have 3 pacing groups here. There hasn't been any separation as of yet, but our first group essentially is targeting the course record here, and the course record being, again, 2:02:16. So the Tokyo Marathon is one of the races in which Japanese athletes can qualify for the LA Olympics marathon trials to be held in the fall of 27, and that's going to be first and foremost on a lot of these runners' minds. Japanese men have several ways to do that, and we'll also talk about the women's criteria here. But essentially for men, if any Japanese man here runs under 2:04, they will auto-qualify and be named to the Olympic team. The fastest person to do so if multiple runners break 2:04. Barring that, runners have to be within the top 6 Japanese finishers and under 2:09, or under 2:06:30, regardless of placing. So those pace groups are designed to do that. That second pace group would be targeting anybody who wants to go for that fast pass, as it's called, sub 2:04. And the third one would be targeting, setting people up to go for that sub 2:06:30 to qualify for the Olympic trials. Barring that, finishing in the top 6. That first kilometer was 2:57. So a little bit slow for that first group, but plenty of time to make that up. 2:57 would be the target pace for the second group, but expect to see that break up a little bit more as we move along here, especially once we hit that downhill. Women do have equivalent times here for qualifying for Japan's Olympic marathon trials. The most relevant one here being today in Tokyo, being sub 2:27 and within the top 6 Japanese. Any woman who breaks 2:23:30 here today would also qualify. Shot there of some of the top Japanese men in the field. We had national record holder Suguru Osako wearing the black cap, white singlet, and black short tights towards the left. We also had Kengo Suzuki, previous national record holder. Interestingly, Osako and Suzuki separated by 1 second on their PBs. Japan's all-time top 2 trained together for the Tokyo Marathon in Boulder for the last few months. So that's quite interesting. Ryota Kondo, debut marathon record holder, 2:05:39 in Osaka last year, and then he went on to represent Japan at the Tokyo World Championships, where he was 11th in 2:10:53, running just his 3rd marathon. We also had a shot there briefly of the top Japanese finisher last year, Tsubasa Ichiyama, 2:06:00 for 10th. A little bit of a breakaway here. We have Ryuichi Hashimoto, number 122. We've seen him do this before. He tends to run very aggressively early on in the race. He does have a 2:09:40 PB from Osaka last year, where he did something similar and faded to run 2:09:40. But yeah, he is out there with one pacer leading the race at this point. Doesn't look like much separation there in the group behind that. Again, there's fairly fine gradation between the pace groups. First group expected to run 2:53 to 2:54 per kilometer, second 2:56 to 2:57, and the third group 2:58 to 2:59. So, you know, within the first 5 kilometers or so, we should start to see a gap. And actually, as I'm saying that, you can see back behind that large chase group behind our 2 leaders, there is a bit of separation back to another group starting to happen here. So I'll get a little bit more time, and then we should have a clear idea of who is in which group. Another look there at the pace group situations. Okay, yeah, and as we're seeing that shot where they're curving there a bit, you can see some separation in the groups. So it looks like the only ones going at that first group pace are one pacer, Taisei Nakamura, and number 122, Ryuichi Hashimoto. The second group there contains the front end of the field, and then which is set to go at the 203 to 204 level, and then our third group back there going for a time in the 205 range. Okay, that third kilometer, 2:48, a little on the fast side. I expect this one to be fast too, as they're starting to hit the downhill just past 3 kilometers. Tokyo course is record eligible, meaning that the start-finish separation and the net elevation drop are within World Athletics guidelines, but the drop is considerable here over the first 5 kilometers. After 5 kilometers, the Tokyo course is quite flat. Bit of a rolling section once they cross the Sumida River for that turnaround point near 30 kilometers in Monzen Nakacho. At the front of that second group there, our defending champion, Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia, right next to him. Yuma Mori, Japanese amateur runner who ran 2:09:59 in Boston a couple years back. Looking a little bit further back, I can see, oh, here's a shot of our Japanese national record holder, Suguru Osako. 2:04:55 national record by just 1 second this past December in Valencia. There's our previous national record holder, Kengo Suzuki, 2:04:56. And again, the two of them have been training for this together, so it'll be very interesting to see how they handle the race together. Just moving up from the other pack to the back of this pack, I noticed Canadian national record holder there, Cam Levins, in sunglasses at the very back. Levins ran that Canadian national record of 2:05:36 here in Tokyo 3 years ago. Also right behind Osako there is our Swedish national record holder, Soldan Hussan, 2:05:57 in Tokyo last year. There are 6 national record holders in the men's field. We have national record holders from Japan, Canada, Sweden, Uzbekistan, Ireland, and Mongolia. Going back to our men's wheelchair race, we have Marcel Hug and Luo Jingchuan of China, Hug of Switzerland, of course, heading up to the 10-kilometer point, where that is that checkpoint for that sprint battle to earn the extra bonus points for the Abbott World Marathon Majors Series standings. Not much of a surprise to see Japan's Kishizawa having dropped off this pair. They are the class of the field. Hug with a 1:17:47 world record as his personal best, and Luo with a 1:21:55 personal best. Next best athlete in the field. Well, the 1:15:33 listed as Hug's personal best was from the downhill Boston course. On a record-eligible course, his best time, 1:17:47. But he did win Boston 2024 with that incredible 1:15:33 course record there. Again, the Boston course, start-finish separation, net downhill course. I was going to say Luo is about 3 minutes faster than our next fastest athlete in the field, Netherlands Platt. But there's a similar difference between him and Hug, so this is great performance so far, very ambitious performance by Luo in the attempt to hit this 10-kilometer checkpoint and pick up those 8 bonus points. But it looks like it's going to be Hug. Yes, indeed. 18:04. Both athletes clocked at 18:04, but Hug just ahead to pick up the 8 bonus points in the sprint challenge. Immediately backs off a little bit. Let Luo share the work here. This is not the first time they've gone head-to-head. Most recently in Oita last year, when Hug ran an excellent 1:17:51, just 4 seconds off his world record here in Japan for the win there last year. Luo over 4 minutes back in his PB of 1:21:55 in that same race, but taking second place. And confirmation there, Marcel Hug of Switzerland has earned that 8 bonus point. Make the turn there. The 8 bonus points for the Series 18 Abbott World Marathon Major standings. The Tokyo Marathon course has gone through multiple iterations over the years, with a lot more turnaround points being introduced. We'll come back to that in a moment here. Lead men have gone through 5 kilometers. Our leader, Hashimoto, clocking in at 14:34. Very ambitious for him. That's predicting a 2:02:57 finish time, which would be a PB of almost 7 minutes for him if you were able to sustain this. And yeah, things are a little bit more conservative than anticipated here. Our defending champion Tadase and others had said that they hoped to run 2:02 in this race, but so far the only athlete actually taking a shot at running that kind of pace in the early going here, the first 5 kilometers, this downhill first 5 kilometers, is 2:09:40 man Ryuichi Hashimoto. Runs for the Press Kogyo corporate team here in Japan. Rest of the field clocking in closer to 1450. At that first checkpoint, that's close to 205 flat pace. So, except for our lone breakaway athlete and pacer up front, it's quite a conservative start so far here in the race. But there's a long way to go, and it's likely with conditions expected to get a little bit tougher in the second half of the race. The wind picking up, temperatures rising, a little bit of conservative running early on here may play into athletes' hands later. Yeah, so along this section of the course, they are past the bottom of that downhill. Again, quite a flat course the rest of the way. A few small bridges here and there, but the main undulations coming on that section between roughly 20 and 30 kilometers on the east side of the Sumida River. Along that section of the course, I've run it multiple times over there, and every few hundred meters there's a small bridge. Not much elevation change, but you hit it both ways, and so it does make for a long and rolling section. Women's wheelchair race. Our leader, Catherine de Brunner, world record holder, course record holder, Catherine de Brunner of Switzerland, went through 10 kilometers in 10:42. Sorry, in 20:45 to 10:42 was her second 5-kilometer split. 20:45 at 10 kilometers for a leader. Number 2 ranked Eden Rainbow Cooper of Great Britain, 11 seconds back, and then the rest of the field nearly a minute behind the lead. Well, gotta say it's pretty surprising to see this up front. We did see something slightly similar in Osaka last week, where Hibiki Yoshida, a runner named Hibiki Yoshida, broke away after only 8 kilometers to try to run 2:03 pace, only to end up with a 2:09 finish in his marathon debut. Hashimoto here. Oh, let's hold that thought. We just got our 5K splits from our lead women. Former world record holder, past Tokyo champ, Bridget Kosuke, leading the women 16:14 through 5 kilometers. That's projecting to a 2:17.00 finish time. All the main competition there with leader Kosuke at 5 kilometers, 2:17. That's what's expected. The expected pace for the second group. So nobody at the moment in the first 5 kilometers tackling that women's course record of 2:15.55. So with the exception of our breakaway men's leader Hashimoto here, relatively conservative races on both the men's and women's sides here at Tokyo. We had confirmation now. Catherine de Brunner, world record holder from Switzerland, picking up the 8 bonus points in the sprint challenge women's wheelchair race. And again, that's for being the top athlete through the 10-kilometer point in the wheelchair race. Yep, so as we said, Hashimoto on an expected projected finish time of 2:02.56. Given his PB of 2:09.40, that's pretty aggressive, I guess you could say, but we'll see how that plays out for him. As I started to say earlier, we did see something similar last week in Osaka, and that runner ended up finishing 2:09, so we'll see how it goes for Hashimoto here. It's not the first time he's done a very aggressive start. He certainly got the ambition. Beautiful shot there of Tokyo Dome, one of the major landmarks on the Tokyo Marathon course. Just right at Tokyo Dome, runners will take, or just past Tokyo Dome, I should say, runners will take a right-hand turn and exit from this 5 kilometers, so long straightaway. Here is a shot of the major chase pack here. Okay, late in this lead pack we have the Japan-based Alexander Mutiso, the 2024 London champ, and a near miss on the win in New York last fall. See our defending champ, Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia. Also in sunglasses and the headband, you see Ilias Awani of Italy, the bronze medalist in the marathon at the Tokyo World Championships last fall. I spoke with his agent yesterday, and he said that Awani's target here is the European record, European men's marathon record. That is 2:03:36. Awani has a PB of 2:06:06, so a pretty ambitious goal, but you know, not quite out on pace for that at this point. We'll see how that goes a bit later in the race. Close-up shot there. You can see, again, a lot of our favorites here. Also a shot there of 2023 champ Chaludeso of Ethiopia. Off to the right of the pack, Mukhtar Edris of Ethiopia, the 2017 London World Championships and 2019 Doha World Championships 5,000 meter gold medalist. Our defending champ right in the middle, Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia. Again, 2:03:23 for the win here in Tokyo last year. Tokyo World Championships didn't go quite so well for him, a DNF there. But he's back to try to improve on his winning time from last year again, 2:03:23. No Japanese athletes going with this second group, back in the third group. Seems to be where the front-running Japanese athletes are. Okay, they're Toroitich, Amsterdam Marathon winner, another potential dark horse winner here. Finally, a shot of our lead women here. Okay, no surprise at all. At the front of the pack, we have two of our past Tokyo Marathon winners, former world record holder Bridget Koskei, two-time defending champ and course record holder Satume Asafakebede of Ethiopia. Many, many more. Kosuke did win here in Tokyo in 2022. Rosemary Wanjiro, also in the race today, was our 2023 winner, and then Satume 2024 and 2025 winner. Back to the second women's pack, presumably here, is where we see our top Japanese women. Ai Hosoda here, really an excellent runner. 2:20:31 PB 2 years ago in Berlin. She was the alternate for the Tokyo Olympics, and then didn't make the for the Paris Olympics, and did not make the team for the Tokyo World Championships. She recently announced that although she's qualified already for the LA Olympic Marathon trials, she's going to be retiring after Tokyo, just citing a loss of motivation and feeling like she wanted to go at her peak. So good on her, whatever happens here. She was a bit cagey at the press conference about what she hoped to run, just saying that she wanted to negative split and be able to feel good about ending her career here in Tokyo. All right, well, Ryuichi Hashimoto seems fully committed to doing this, coming up to 10 kilometers within about the next 5 minutes, just soloing this race here along with pacemaker Taisei Nakamura. Hashimoto really balling now, 2:01:45 projected finish time, so he's not holding back in any way, shape, or form, continuing to roll on the momentum that he built on that downhill section there. Again, if Hashimoto somehow hangs on here, to some degree and finishes under 2:04, he'll become the front runner to take the Fast Pass, which is a spot directly on the Los Angeles Olympic team without having to run the trials race in the fall of 27. Okay, back to our men's wheelchair race. No surprises at all here to see #1 ranked Marcel Hug of Switzerland, having broken away from China's Luo Xingchuan. Again, Luo is an excellent athlete, second strongest in the field, but there's a significant disparity between him and the all-time great Marcel Hug. Yeah, at the 15-kilometer split, Hug had opened 2 seconds on Luo, but as you can see, it's significantly more than that. The rest of the field, well over a kilometer behind. So it looks like it's going to be all Marcel, all the time, the rest of the way. Back to our men's race. You gotta love it. Breakaway leader Ryuichi Hashimoto, running with pacemaker Taisei Nakamura. Coming up to 10 kilometers with a significant lead here over some of the world's top athletes. Again, Hashimoto only with a 2:09.40 PB. Going up against people who have run over 6 minutes faster and just not holding back in any way, shape, or form. All African second group there, with the exception of Italy's Awani. And then back in our third group, featuring a couple of Japan-based African athletes, along with a lot of the major Japanese names. I can see our top two Japanese, all-time top two, Osako and Suzuki there. #3 ranked man Kondo, Koki Takada also in that field. Ryu Takaku, a 2:06 runner who's retiring after this race. Also at the very back of that pack, we have Shinsaku Kudo, very interesting 60:06 half marathon PB, still in college at Waseda University, making his debut marathon here, again off of 60:06 half marathon. That was just like 2:06 marathon potential, but going quite a bit faster in this. Also in that third group there, Canadian national record holder Cam Levins, looks like he's having a good one so far. But as they're coming up only to 10 kilometers, still early going here. Okay, I believe Nakamura here is, yes, pacemaker Nakamura signaling that he is going to be dropping out here at 10 kilometers. Leaving Hashimoto all on his own with 32 kilometers plus of running still to go. Leader Ryuichi Hashimoto hitting 10 kilometers in just a spectacular 29:02. You gotta love it. Hmm, 29:02. That is projecting to a 2:02.31 finish. So I'm not sure I believe that that earlier projection on screen there of a 2:01 finish time. But at any rate, he is on 2:02.31 pace. The main chase group there, 29:28 at 10 kilometers, projecting to 2:04.21. Third group, where we see our top Japanese athletes, other than Hashimoto, 29:38 at 10 kilometers, projecting to 2:05.03. So yeah, that's a little on the slow side, you know, with the exception of our breakaway leader Hashimoto there. Second group, was anticipated to run in the 2:03 to 2:04 range. Kind of on the high end of that with the 2:04.21 projected finish. The next group is expected to run 2:03 to 2:04. Oh, sorry. Yes, 2:03 to 2:04. Slightly slower than anticipated for most of these groups here, but again, early days, and conditions are expected to get a bit tougher later in the race. Hashimoto making that next turnaround point near Ueno Park. The other group's just about to hit that turnaround point in our men's wheelchair race. Breakaway leader Marcel Hoog coming up to 20 kilometers. Nobody in sight behind him at all. And again, Hoog has gone as fast as 1:15.33 on the Boston course. Fastest time on a record eligible course, 1:17.47. That was in Oita, 2021. We'll get a sense here at 20 kilometers of exactly what kind of pace Hoog is on after that fast first 10 kilometers to get those bonus points. He did seem to back off a bit after hitting that. Nobody at all in sight behind him. China's Luo has really fallen off. But at the 15 kilometers, there was, almost 3 minutes even between Luo and the third place group. So our top two looking like they're having very lonely solo performances here. Hoog crossing the Kuramai Bridge across the Sumida River, hitting 20 kilometers there. Looked like 37:41. 37:41, projecting to 1:19.30 finish time for our leader, Marcel Hoog. Top women here. Brigitte Koske leading a lead group of 10 through 10 kilometers in 32:14, projecting to 2:16.01. 2:16.01 projected finish time here. So actually edging pretty close now after a slower first 5 kilometers, edging pretty close now to Tsutume Asafa-Kebede's course record of 2:15.55. So a little bit of a conservative start, but things are rolling now. You can see Kosuke there with Kebede right next to her, Tsutume Asafa-Kebede. Picking out at least 2 other competitors right behind them. Like Howie Fesa and Megertu Alemu, no surprise there. Yeah, there's that 2:16.01. Aberu Ayana, also in the race there. Not picking out Rosemary Wanjiru, our 2023 champ. Wanjiru is in the pack, just a little bit further back, so not quite in contact with them, but still within this large pack of amateur level Japanese men and a few pacers. Not on screen, but still in that pack. So again, really interesting that we have the winners of the last 4 Tokyo Marathon women's races all there together. Okay, that's a little bit more accurate projected finish time there. As we said, Ryuichi Hashimoto, our breakaway Japanese men's leader here, on 2:02:30 pace. Why not? Through 10 kilometers. Still on his own. Not so much right now, but yeah, these shady sections will be critical later in the race as temperatures pick up. Again, expected to be something in the 16 to 17 degree range with strong sunshine by the time that whoever ends up being the top finisher makes it to Tokyo Station's Marunouchi side. No change here in the main chase pack. Just off to the left of the screen there, Vincent Kipkemoy Nedich of Kenya. He's a reliable top placer at the big marathons. You know, he was second in Berlin in 2023, third in Tokyo, fourth in Chicago 2024, third in Tokyo in both 2024 and 2025. Didn't have a great one at Tokyo World Championships, finishing only 22nd, but really looking for his first marathon win here. Somebody else mentioned a couple times in the cutoff, Jeffrey Torotich of Kenya. He hasn't won a world marathon major yet, but he did have an excellent 2:03:30 win in Amsterdam last fall that could put him in the contention for the win here. Defending champ Tadase Takale going for some water here. Again, nobody in the field has run under 2:03, but Tadase was fairly confident at the press conference that that's within his ability and preparation range this time around. In the green Adidas kit there on the left of the pack, screen left. Again, Mukhtar Edris, two-time World Championships, 5,000 meter gold medalist here in the marathon. 2:05:59, fastest time in Boston last year. Yeah, Hashimoto all on his own now, going through a nice shady section of the course here. Making a turn just before Nihonbashi, the famous bridge in central Tokyo, or just crossing over, I should say, just crossing over Nihonbashi right there. Some of you might recognize that as a major landmark on the Tokyo World Championships course from last fall. Also the 1 kilometer to go point on the course at the legendary Hakone Ekiden Road Relay on January 2nd and 3rd. Main chase pack just coming up on Nihonbashi. Hashimoto's lead continuing to grow as we hit as we get close to the 1/3 of the way point on the course. Next chase back here, featuring several of our top Japanese competitors crossing through Nihonbashi. See the debuting collegian Kudo at the back of that pack. So this group is nominally on 2:03:46 to 2:04:29 pace. That's the targeted pace. I think actually running a bit slower than that. Just back from them, not far back from them, is the next group containing most of the Japanese field. In red on the inside there, debut marathon national record holder Ryota Kondo, 2:05:39 in Osaka last year. Really going forward here. Breakaway leader Hashimoto, Ryuichi Hashimoto. 2:09:40 best in Osaka last year. There's not much on his resume that would suggest Hashimoto can pull this off. In Osaka 2 years ago, 2:18:18. The 2:09:40 in Osaka last year, followed by a 2:15:22 on the Gold Coast. He has a history of going out hard like this, but, well, not like this. He has a history of going out hard, but I have not seen him run quite like this, or many Japanese athletes run quite like this. This is even more aggressive than what we saw from Yoshida in Osaka last week. Shot back to our lead women's field. We'll check out the 15K split. I'm still not actually seeing Rosemary Wanjiru in this pack. Yeah, it's a common problem in these races where the men and women do have integrated starts, that it can be difficult to pick out the women when there are large numbers of amateur athletes, male athletes, mixed in with them. But we'll try to get an ID on where exactly Wanjiru sits at the next checkpoint at 15 kilometers. But all the rest of our top contenders in the women's race are here. Just leading this side by side all the way so far. Our 2022 champ, Bridget Kosuke, and 2024-2025 champ, Satome Asafa Kebede, the course record holder here in Tokyo. Lots of other competition right there with them. Again, at 15K, we'll also get a sense of if they've edged even closer to that 2:15:55 course record. Meanwhile, in the wheelchair men's race, Marcel Hug hitting 25 kilometers all on his own. You know, he is on, or he has been on sub 120 pace, excellent pace here. He's the only one in the race that's done that. 47:15 at 25 kilometers. Yeah, so Hug's projected finish, 1:19:45, slightly slower than he was at 20 kilometers, but still on that sub 120 pace. In the men's marathon, it's all Hashimoto up front. In the distance, you can see 3 packs. Again, really not that much separation between each of the 3 chase packs, given where we are in the race. It's perfectly reasonable to see people from that 3rd pack come up and take out a lot of people in the 1st pack. Later in the group, we certainly saw that last year. Meanwhile, Hashimoto through 15 kilometers. 43:25. Okay, well, that's projecting to 2:22:08. Or sorry, 2:02:08. That's even, I believe that's even faster than the split we had here last year. So, yeah, 43:25 for 15 kilometers for our leader Hashimoto, Ryuichi Hashimoto from the Press Kogyo corporate team. 2:02:08 pace, so believe it or not, he's actually now on course record pace. 2:02:16 is the course record. Needless to say, that's over 2.5 minutes under Japanese national record pace. In fact, edging close to 3 minutes under Japanese national record pace. So, really, you only live once. .44:08 for that main chase group at 15 kilometers. 43 seconds back. That's 2:04:09 projected finish here. Yeah, so nothing wrong with that pacing here. Again, it is a little bit slower than expected for most of these guys, but it's edging faster and faster as we are going along here. But story so far, how is this course record pace for our breakaway leader Hashimoto going to play out in the second half of the race? I think we know the answer, but we will see. I think air temps are still relatively cool, but you get a sense of just how strong the sunshine is today. Later on in the race, when things do heat up, it could be tough. This is our third group here, not including Hashimoto. You can see near the front of that group, Masato Arao. Kind of an unknown. He had a big breakthrough here in Tokyo last year with a 2:08:05 PB, and then went off and had an incredible sixth place finish in a 2:07:42 PB on the very hilly Sydney Marathon course. Tsubasa Ichiyama, our top Japanese man. Last year, the Tokyo Marathon there, 2:06:00 last year in this group. Just off to the very left of the screen, Irish national record holder Firgal Curtin, also in this group. Yang of China, Takeuchi of Japan, a training partner of Arao, also in this group. All these guys on 2:05 pace. Ichiyama last year, 2:06:00, just missing out on joining the sub 2:06 club. He has a distinction of being the only Japanese man in the all-time Japanese top 10 for both half marathon and marathon. Ichiyama is standing at all-time number 8 for the half marathon and all-time number 9 for the marathon. Back to our lead women's group here. No changes at all. Kosuke Tsuchime up front in this lead women's group. Fesa, Alemu, Ayana, others all tucked in right behind her. And again, not seeing our 2023 champ Rosemary Wanju here, but we will try to get, well, we will get a split on that here at 15 kilometers, and we'll see where exactly she is. That should be coming up just momentarily here as they're at 14.75 kilometers. Again, the women had a relatively conservative first 5 kilometers, but were edging very close to course record pace at 10 kilometers. I believe the projected finish there at 10 kilometers was 2:16:06. Oh, sorry, 2:16:01. Just 6 seconds off the course record. Men's race. The wild man, Ryuichi Hashimoto, all on his own. The only pacemaker, Taisei Nakamura, having dropped off at 10 kilometers as scheduled. Okay, there we go. Our lead women's pack, 15 kilometers, 48:12. 7 athletes in that group, led by defending champ Tsuchime Asafakebede. 2:15:36 pace. Okay, so yes, things just continue to increment faster and faster here for this lead women's group. They are now on course record pace. 48:12 split at 15, projecting 2:15:36 for the finish. You have our lead group there. Yeah, Rosemary Wanju back in a second group, 18 seconds behind the leaders. You know, nothing wrong with that pace, still very solid. Wanju on 2:16:26 pace. Hashimoto on his own at 17 kilometers. He's just heading up to that turnaround point in Asakusa, and then we'll come back here, go across that bridge for the out and back section between 20 and 30 kilometers. Again, there you see there his 15 kilometer split, projecting a 2:02:08 course record, Japanese national record, winning time. You gotta love it. Okay, our men's pack, just main men's pack here, just biding their time. We're waiting for Hashimoto to come back. They have let him get pretty far away at this point. In the unlikely event that he was to hang on in any shape or form, it's getting close to a 1-minute lead. Could get interesting. Okay, our next chase group, including Japanese and Canadian national record holders, among others. I also saw in that group Darase Workne, Japan-based Ethiopian course record holder at the Hofu Yomiuri Marathon with the 206.58 PB last December. Okay, here's our next group. Mostly Japanese group here. Also in that group, Irish record holder Fergal Curtin. Hashimoto looks like he's feeling this, but I think in pretty much every race I've seen, he looks exactly like this. Actually, in that close-up shot, he looks okay. It's ambitious. Gotta give him that. Soloing this. Coming up. There's a nice shot there. They head to the left of this little triangular block here in Asakusa, right in front of the Kaminarimo gate, and then we'll make 2 sharp turns and begin the return trip. So it's not exactly a 180-degree turn point. This has been a feature of the Tokyo course since day one, although the number of 180-degree turn points has proliferated since then. Meanwhile, up front, our leader, Marcel Hug, 57 minutes through 30 kilometers. Nobody else in sight. Hug has ticked over, no surprise there, has ticked over the 120s, and the projected finish time now 1:20:11. Beautiful shot there of Kaminarimon, one of the main tourist spots in Tokyo. Tokyo Skytree there also visible. When runners make this right-hand turn, the first thing they will see is Tokyo Skytree, one of the city's major landmarks. And the first one making that turn is, of course, Ryuichi Hashimoto. Just running a wild race here, opening up with no fear over some of the world's best. And that group now coming up to making the turn, but Hashimoto has already disappeared around the second turn, so he will be completely out of sight once they make it around this corner here. Thick crowds turning out. This is technically our second chase group. Coming up to make the turn. List of people in that group here. As I said, Workne Darase, Japan-based Ethiopian Hofu Marathon course record holder. Casey Klinger of the United States, also in that group. Very interestingly, a 2:16 marathon best from Chicago, but had an incredible 59:34 half marathon PB in Houston this past January. Certainly way better than what his 2:16:05 marathon in Chicago this past fall would have predicted. And really tried to capitalize on that half marathon performance here. Our next group, including Irish record holder Curtin and most of the top Japanese, also not making that turn. Out of the packs we've seen so far, that pack looks like it's having the most splintering going on. People falling off the back of the pack, not able to hang on to this pace. As we start to enter the very last part of the first half of the race. Hashimoto at 19 kilometers, coming up to 20 kilometers, where we'll see exactly where he stands on pace and lead over that chase group. Women's lead group, again, no change at all. It's just been edging slightly faster. Now on course record pace, but it's just been Kosuke and Tsutsumi side by side all the way so far, with a group of Ethiopian competitors tucked in right behind them. Bib number 52 in that group, Howie Fesa, the Chicago Marathon winner this past fall. Ranked number 1 in the field, really, with that 2:14:57 winning time in Chicago. Has not won in Tokyo. She was 3rd here last year. And so she's hoping to add her name to that list of Tokyo winners, as we have the 2022, 23, 24, and 25 Tokyo winners in the field. Yeah, as you can see there, the 15-kilometer split projecting to a 2:15:35 winning time. That'll be 20 seconds under the course record set 2 years ago here in Tokyo by Tsutsumi Asafakebede. Okay. The least expected thing so far in the Tokyo Marathon this year. 2:09:40 runner Ryuichi Hashimoto. Only sub 2:10 once in his career so far. Otherwise, he had to break 2:15. Out on course record pace, running low 2:02 pace, all by himself in the Tokyo Marathon here. Coming up to 20 kilometers, he's just made that turn at Kuramai, heading onto the bridge. And at the peak of the bridge, he will hit 20 kilometers. So we'll see how his pace has changed, what that lead looks like at 20 kilometers. Still looks good. I mean, that's, as I said, that's how he usually looks, and so given that, he looks pretty good right now. But we'll see what the numbers say here at 20 kilometers. Again, this is probably the toughest section of the course. This bridge launches off a long section of undulations, ups and downs, that you hit both heading out and coming back on this 11 back section. Skytree there, the big landmark that we mentioned that comes into sight with that left turn in Asakusa. Kind of dominates the skyline here on this part of the course. All right, and here we go. Hashimoto-san on that bridge, indeed. 20 kilometers, coming right up. Let's see what's what here. Hmm. 58:18 officially for our breakaway leader, Ryuichi Hashimoto. 2:03 flat, 2:03:00 projected finish. So yeah, he has dropped off a little bit from that from course record pace. We'll see what the main chase group has here. Yeah, so they are closing down the lead a bit. It was over 40 seconds, now down to 32 seconds. So main group here is on 2:03:30 pace. Okay, so again, like slower start for this group, but they're starting to pick it up now. And definitely reeling in our breakaway leader, Hashimoto. Next group with all of the other front-running Japanese athletes. China's Yang, Canada's Levens, 59:34. It's looking like 59:34. That's 2:05:40 pace. So they've also slowed quite a bit there. Again, the main thing that all the Japanese men in this group would be looking for is to be either under 2:06:30 or within the top 6 Japanese there in order to have a shot at making the LA Olympic Marathon Trials in the fall of 27. The earlier people can get that out of the way, the better. Yeah, confirmation there. Hashimoto on 2:03 flat pace now. So his projected finish slowed 52 seconds over that last 5K. Meanwhile, the pack behind him has sped up slightly. And that third chase group that I said has started to splinter, looks like it's really blown up. Almost everybody on their own now. It looks like there's only maybe 3 or 4 athletes still together. Since that group ahead of them has slowed down so much, it's quite likely we'll see those the last few surviving people from that third group join that group or even pass them, much like what happened last year. Meanwhile, leader Hashimoto through halfway. Looked like about 1:01:30 flat there. We'll get official confirmation of that. That's consistent with his 20-kilometer split, 2:03 flat pace. So yeah, even though he's slowing, gotta say, he is still on track to hit that 2:03:59 fast pass, the auto qualifier for the LA Olympics. And, well, yeah, well under Japanese national record pace. Okay, main group there. Just under 1:02 at halfway, so essentially skimming right along at 2:04 flat pace, or just under. Looks like we've lost one of our pacers from that group. Yeah, so you can kind of get a sense there from that shot. There's one of those little undulations that I mentioned. They're not significantly steep or tall, but there's just a regular series of them every few hundred meters, and you do hit this section both ways. There's a turnaround point, and so just at this point of the race, from halfway coming for 30 kilometers, it is pretty draining to be doing that that kind of undulation. Kondo, debut marathon record holder Kondo, with China's Yang right there. Yang on. Oh, sorry, Feng. Feng is on national record pace for China. Only one Chinese athlete having broken 2:07 before. Feng does have a 2:07:06 PB from Valencia 2 years ago. So a significant step up in quality from that for him, running just under 2:06 pace at halfway. Again, Hashimoto, has slowed a bit, but not much change in his appearance. He's looked pretty much like this the whole way so far, and as usual in his other races. Yeah, so not including pacers, 14 in that main chase group right behind him. And then a significant gap back, or about the same kind of distance between Hashimoto and that chase group as between that chase group and the group of the main Japanese athletes. Okay, women's group, 20 kilometers, 1:04:09. Yeah, so quite a bit faster than last year. That's a 2:15:21 projected finish. So the women's race just continues to increment faster and faster under that course record, the 2:15:55 course record here. Looks like LMU has dropped off a little bit from this group, probably at the very back of the group, but 6 athletes here still on course record pace at 20 kilometers in the women's race. 20 kilometers still very early going, especially with conditions expected to worsen as we go along here. But yeah, really, it's just Bridget Kosgei with our course record holder, defending champ, Situme of Ethiopia, Kebede on her bib, running right with her, tailed by an ever so slightly dwindling group of Situme's Ethiopian compatriots. So yeah, having made that turn off the bridge, the lead women now are onto this kind of undulating out and back section. Looks like one of the male pacers has stopped there. Stopped to look for his drink, maybe? Hashimoto, yes. He may be slowing, but certainly not blowing up yet. Just under 20K to go for our breakaway leader, Ryuichi Hashimoto. Yeah, you know, still looking okay. Very shortly here, just around 23.5 kilometers, so make a left turn to that last section before the next turnaround point on the course. Head back. Another one of those undulations that makes this section so challenging. Most Japanese athletes at this level compete for corporate teams within Japan, semi-pro teams, with a main emphasis on the New Year Ekiden on January 1st, and Road Relay National Championships for the corporate men's teams on January 1st. Some of those teams very high level. Hashimoto's team, kind of a second tier one, so surprised to see him this hard up front. Shot here of our presumably our chase pack in the men's wheelchair race, rounding that corner in Ginza. Quite a ways behind our leader, Marcel Hug. Coming down to the very end of the race, 38 kilometers. This is that long out and back section down to the turnaround point en route towards Shinagawa. Yeah, 35 kilometers, Hug's lead over second placer Luo of China. Almost 5 minutes. Hug has progressively slowed as things have gone along. Doesn't look like it's going to be a sub 120 race, but no problem whatsoever. Still going to be just a dominant win here for the great Marcel Hug of Switzerland. Hug also having picked up the 8 bonus points for that sprint, that 10-kilometer sprint challenge, by being the top athlete at 10 kilometers. 23.5 kilometers, there's that turn I mentioned earlier. Monzen Nakacho neighborhood of eastern Tokyo. Just a few hundred meters further, and Hashimoto will make that turnaround point. He'll be able to see just how much closer the chase pack has gotten to him. His lead was up over 40 seconds a bit earlier in the race. Clearly less than that now. They'll just undoubtedly catch him before 30 kilometers, but the question is how long he can hang on. One of the major landmarks there in this neighborhood, Tomioka Hachimangu Shrine. The turnaround point just in front of the entrance to that shrine. Here we go. Leader Ryuichi Hashimoto making the turnaround in Monzen Nakacho just before 24 kilometers. Again, he had a lead of over 40 seconds at one point. Well, let's get a count on it here. 18 seconds whose lead is now down to 18 seconds. So they are closing the gap on our breakaway leader. Starting to see some casualties off the back of this lead pack now. Pretty consistent with how the Tokyo course has been run in the past. This is the section where you usually start to see these this type of separation in the lead groups. Speaking of which, we'll try to see what is happening here with the second group. That third group had kind of blown up as the second group slowed. We'll see if people are closing it down. Yeah, we can see several people coming up. Several have fallen off that group. You can see Ryu Takaku and Koki Takada have fallen off the second group. Meanwhile, Masato Arao and a few others starting to close up from the third group to the back of the second group. The debuting Shinsaku Kudo still just staying very steadily at the back of that pack, running conservatively here. We mentioned Takaku, Takada, both having fallen off that lead pack. Chase group here. Arao, Curtin, Ichiyama, a couple of others. Hashimoto just, the bold race here, just no other word for it really. Well, I guess there are other words for it, but bold it is. Coming up to 25 kilometers. Yeah, and that gap just continues to close. It was 18 seconds at that turnaround point just before 24 kilometers. I'm not sure it's within 10 seconds at this point, but certainly will be soon enough. Hashimoto almost running the tangent there. Yeah, some of the, definitely that chase pack being a little bit more aware on that corner, cutting the shortest course. Hashimoto. 25 kilometers. Like 1:13:08. Yes, 1:13:08 official confirmation there. 2:03:27 pace. So still well under national record pace. Well on track for that fast pass LA auto qualifying mark. Yep, lead group 12 seconds back, or sorry, chase group 12 seconds back. 1:13:20 projecting to a 2:03:46. So yeah, while Hashimoto is just incrementing slower, the chase group is ratcheting it up now. Expect them to catch him within at least the next 2-3 kilometers. Main chase group here. Okay, Hashimoto on his way back up to cross back over that bridge, back into central Tokyo for the critical last 12 kilometers of the race. Yeah, here's that chase group. We've got Fang of China. This is the second chase group, trying to close up the gap onto that main group. Got Klinger of the United States in this group with Ichiyama, Arao. They've run down two of the stragglers from that lead group. You can see Takaku's off the back, former 2:06 runner running his last marathon here. 2:07 man, Takada further back. And from back to up front, we have the great Marcel Hoog cruising in the last 500 meters to a victory at the 2026 Tokyo Marathon. Yeah, after having some company in that first 10 kilometers, it's been almost entirely a solo effort here from Hug. One of the only streets in Tokyo with cobblestones, and they make it the last kilometer for it's. I'm sure the wheelchair racers appreciate it, but still. Here we go, Hug making that last corner now. Just going to miss clipping under 1:21, but an excellent winning time here. The great Marcel Hug of Switzerland takes another victory at the Tokyo Marathon here in 2026. 1:21.09 unofficially. We'll get an official time there. 1:21.09 officially. Victory for Switzerland's Marcel Hug. Congratulations to him. Just a dominant win. It'll be at least 5 minutes before we see our next finisher come across the line. No major surprise there. What has been the major surprise so far, Hashimoto, also no surprise anymore to see him just on the cusp of being caught by this this main chase group containing all of our top entrants here in the race, led by defending champ Tadase Takale of Ethiopia. Just tucked in right in the center, right behind the Pacers, Alexander Mutiso, longtime Japan-based Kenyan, 2024 London winner. Narrowly missed out winning in New York in November. He is based in Yamagata up north, runs for the ND Software corporate teams, teammates of Arao and Takeuchi, who are in that third Japanese group. Just seems to like the rural environment, the people. He did train for this in Kenya, for this year's race in Kenya, but is based in Japan, remains based in Japan much of the year. Mutiso and the others catching our early leader Hashimoto at 26.5. A little bit of a head wobble there from Hashimoto now, so it certainly seems to be feeling the burn at this point. So now the question now for Hashimoto is just you know, how well he can hang on. He's certainly slowing. You know, he's getting passed by this group that is accelerating, but there's still like plenty of carrots ahead of him. You know, there's that 2:03.59 LA auto qualifying mark. There's the 2:04.55 national record. Lots of motivation for him to try to hang on to some degree over the remaining portion of the race. But as I said in Osaka last week, we saw the runner Yoshida, who tried to do that kind of breakaway early on, ended up in the 2:09s, and with Hashimoto having only a 2:09.40 PB, we'll see how it plays out for him. Just looking the 25 kilometer, as they're hitting 27 kilometers, the 25 kilometer projected finish time for this group was 2:03.46, and just looking very calm and controlled in that group on this pace is Italy's Ilias Awani, 2:06.06 PB, so this is very fast for him. But as I mentioned, when I spoke with his agent yesterday, he said that Awani's main goal here is the 2:03.36 European record. So 2:03.36 is the European record. Awani currently on 2:03.46 pace and seems to be accelerating at 27 kilometers. Potential exciting development there. Back to our women's race. Yeah, we're seeing a few people dropping off now. No change at all in our top two, Kosuke and Tsutume side by side. Tsutume Kevade. Just behind them. one Ethiopian athlete we haven't mentioned yet, Bertikon Welde, runner-up in Amsterdam, winner in Prague last year. Top women, 120 flat at 25 kilometers. Very solid. .2:15:02 projected finish. Yep, so just continuing to push further and further under that course record pace. Howie Fesa has dropped off this group, so it's down to our two favorites, past Tokyo champions, Sujume Asfa-Kebede and Bridget Koske, with a bit of dark horse competition there from 2:17:56 best athlete Bertikon Welde of Ethiopia. Again, runner-up in Amsterdam last fall, winner in Prague last spring, making her Tokyo Marathon debut here. Bertikon did have an excellent 1:07:15 win. Had a half marathon in the Netherlands earlier this year. Yeah, so things change quickly here in the marathon. Hashimoto far in the distance now behind this lead group. It's just a question for him of trying to hang on the best he can with almost 15 kilometers left of running. One other casualty out of this lead group now. Ten left in that group, including both of our past champions in the race, Tadase Takele and Chaladesa. Main Japanese group. So at least three, I'm spotting at least three national record holders in this group. Osaka for Japan and Levens for Canada, of course. Along with Sweden's Solden Hussan, who ran a 2:05:57 national record here in Tokyo last year. Feng of China also on national record pace in that group. Only one pacer left as the lead group of men approaches 30 kilometers. Again, projected finish time, here they go, make this corner across the bridge back towards central Tokyo on 30 kilometers. And again, the projected finish, has inched down into 2:03 territory, so Italy's Awani is actually getting close to that European record pace. This is that main chase group now, second group. Starting to look like Canada's Levens, struggling a little bit. Maybe just a stride or two off the back of that pack. But they still have a long ways to go to catch front-running Japanese man Hashimoto. They almost certainly will. So yeah, a few other stragglers, again, off the back of that pack, but Levens of Canada does look to be a stride or two behind. And as you can see, the third group is closing up on that. I see Arao has dropped off, Ichiyama and a few others remaining in that chase group, coming up behind the main Japanese group. Alexander Machiso flexing a little bit here, leading the group behind the last remaining pacer. Less than 4 minutes of running until they hit that 30-kilometer point where this pacer is scheduled to drop off, and then we'll see what kind of race it's going to be from there to the finish. Not going to be anywhere near the course record here in Tokyo. Potential European record. And here's that that main chase group. Second group. Ota of Japan there memorably went with the, he was a Hakone Ekiden star in college, memorably went with the lead group here in Tokyo last year, only to drop out after 30 kilometers. Hasn't been spectacular in his 2 marathons since then, but trying to run a little bit more conservatively here, just to tick the box on his Olympic trials qualification. So I'm counting 5 Japanese men in that pack. Again, top 6 have a chance to qualify for the trials if they are under 2:09. Our lead women's group, no change. Still a 3-way race. Howie Fesa has dropped off slightly. Still visible kind of towards the back of those the group of stragglers after this lead pack. Yeah, just again, confirmation that the women are on 2:15:01 course record pace. And just like the men as well, inching faster and faster after a relatively conservative start. Men are back into central Tokyo. Getting some support there from the masses. A large part of the Tokyo Marathon course does feature traffic both directions. You know, it's exciting for the masses to see the leaders going by, and for the elites, it's great to get a boost of energy from all the cheering. We'll see what kind of race that boost of energy does produce here momentarily as the lead group of men are about to hit 30 kilometers here at the Tokyo Marathon. Clear shot there of Selimon Barrega, gold medalist in the 10,000 meter at the Tokyo Olympics. 2:05:15 win in Seville last year. He was in Tokyo for the Tokyo Legacy Half Marathon in October, where he won in 61:22. In this lead group here, as they hit 30 kilometers, 1:28:02 officially, 1:28:02. 2:03:50, so slightly slower relative to where they were at 25 kilometers. 25 kilometers, the projected finish was 2:03:47, now projecting to 2:03:50. Main question here, now that this the pacer has stopped, is if this is going to slow down, be a strategic race, wait for the end, see who's the strongest last kick, or if somebody's really going to try to hammer, break this pack apart, and cut down the competition. Yeah, you can really hear how loud those cheers are from the mass participation runners there. Just hitting the 15-kilometer point as the leaders have gone through 30. Four Kenyans, 4 Ethiopians, 1 Italian in this lead group. All talent. Okay, our chase group here. Fang of China pushing it a bit at the string station. Debuting Richard Kim Yunnan there in yellow. Excellent half marathoner. All-time Japanese top 2, Osako Suzuki. Debut marathon record holder Kondo. Debuting collegiate Kudo. Ota, Canadian national record holder Levens. Swedish national record holder Hassan. Maybe one other in this chase group here. Yeah, Kipkoech of Kenya, also in this chase group. Mutiso front and center in the lead group here. Oh, cutting away to our women's wheelchair race. Catherine de Bruyne of Switzerland, course record holder here in Tokyo with a 1:35.56 win last year. 1:34.16 personal best, that being the world record in that memorable race in Berlin 3 years ago, where she won by just 1 second over Great Britain's Eden Rainbow Cooper. Now in the last 500 meters here on these cobblestones in the Tokyo Marathon, coming in to the win. Again, not quite as fast as her course record last year. Looking like it'll be a high 1:37 race, mid to high 1:37 here, winning time for de Bruyne. Maybe mid 1:37, still an excellent time. That's a time only 3 athletes in the field have ever run. Coming in to win the 2026 Tokyo Marathon Women's Wheelchair title. Another win for the great Catherine de Bruyne of Switzerland. 1:37.15. 1:37.15 for the win. Again, excellent time. Not many women in the field have gone that fast. On any course. But much like we saw with the men's wheelchair race, Marcel Hug won by a significant margin of over 5 minutes. Looking like it's going to be much the same for Catherine de Bruyne here in the women's race. Back to our elite men's race. Coming up to 10 kilometers to go here. Still Alexander Matiso and Vincent Nedich of Kenya up front in this lead group. Awani of Italy there. Faster than he's ever gone before, but running the same kind of race he did in the World Championships, that just calm and controlled. That took him all the way to the bronze medal. Close to his target of European record pace. But get the feeling that the next 5 kilometer split, 35 kilometers, we may see that the projected finish has slowed quite a bit here, since that pacer has dropped out. Okay, Feng of China, national record pace, running down just about to run down our early leader, Hashimoto of Japan. Broken away from that chase group. Suzuki of Japan, followed by Osako, Kimunyan, Cam Levins of Canada, Kondo, Kudo. A little bit of a gap back to Hassan of Sweden. Aoi of Japan, Aoi Ota, has also appears to have dropped off this group. Still over 10 kilometers to go, but yeah, Feng is feeling it, Feng of China. Chinese national record is just sub 207. I believe it's 206.57. Apologies if I'm a couple seconds off on that. Feng very close out on PB, 207.06. Former national record holder Suzuki of Japan right there with Feng. Levins of Canada trying to pull up on this. get up to roll with Feng and Suzuki here, pulling the rest of the pack along behind him. You know, Suzuki did run that 2:04.56 former national record 5 years ago at Lake Biwa, and has struggled a bit since then, but dropped a half marathon PB unexpectedly at the Houston half in January, 60:56. So clearly in good shape, having trained the last couple months in Boulder alongside the man who broke his national record, Suguru Osako. Back to our women's race. Still, as it has been right since the start, we have Bridget Kosuke and course record holder Tsujima Kebede side by side. 30 kilometers. 30 kilometers for them. I believe Bertikan Welde is still right there behind them. 1:35.53. 1:35.53 at 30 kilometers. 2:14.52. So yeah, just the pace is on. Just keeps going faster and faster. You know, every 5 kilometers, the projected finish is speeding up a few seconds. So they're under the 2:15 mark now. 2:14.52 course record pace here. Two-way race between two past champions, former world record holder, the current course record holder. It's a great race. Bertikan Welde has dropped off, not able to sustain this, still running a very good pace, but 13 seconds behind now at 30 kilometers. Looking at them right now, our course record holders, Situme Asafa Kebede, looks the more comfortable of the two. We've seen Kosuke grimace a couple times there in the last few seconds, but still side by side and just pushing each other faster and faster here. Just a record-breaking pace. At this point, the course record is looking very likely to fall. You know, still a lot can change over the last 12 kilometers, but it's just gotten faster and faster. The two of them pushing each other further and further. A little bit of a surge there from Situme as Kosuke went for some water. Kosuke wincing a bit again there, and again. I have a feeling we may see a change the next time we cut back to them. Not much change up front in our men's race. Still 9, group of 9 here. Front running Japanese man now, Kengo Suzuki. Feng of China has pulled away from Suzuki, coming up towards 35 kilometers. As they're barreling down on some casualties from that lead group. So just expect to see more and more of that as the race is going along here. But just fantastic race here from Feng of China. I don't know how many national records we will see today, but Feng of China looks like he's on for one at the very least as he makes the turn at Ginza. Kengo Suzuki also having a good one. Levins of Canada and others in this main chase group. That third group that looked like it was about to enter orbit does look like it's dropped off. Oh, enter orbit of that second group does look like it's dropped off. I don't see anybody from that group now in touch. But still no change at all in our front group here. Alexander Matiso leading 9 at the turn at Hibiya, 34 kilometers, Hibiya Park. It's a long out and back now to that last turnaround point. 5 kilometers, almost straight back to the finish. It doesn't look like the wind is as bad. Just looking at some of those banners along the side of the course, it doesn't look like the wind is as bad as had been projected. It was looking like it was going to be about a 4 meter per second headwind once they make that last turnaround, but not seeing much evidence that the wind is anywhere near that strong. Not that it is that is strong. You can see that the banners are blowing a little bit, but doesn't look to be as bad as feared. Longtime Japanese resident Alexander Matiso, hoping to pick up his first Tokyo Marathon title here. Add that to his London Marathon win after having narrowly missed out on a win in New York in November. Oh, okay, Suzuki coming back to this group now. Feng of China seems to be succeeding in pulling away, but the rest of this group has been a little bit more patient, taking its time. Pulled back in Suzuki, who's given up on trying to follow Feng. Richard Kimunyan of Kenya there in yellow, also a longtime Japanese resident, making his marathon debut here. Aoi in black with the sunglasses, visible having dropped off this group here. Still struggling to live up to his ambitions in the marathon. Cam Levins of Canada, Canadian national record holder, tucked in the back of this pack behind Japanese national record holder Suguru Osako and Swedish national record holder Sloden Hassan. Two out of this group of 7 making their marathon debuts here, Kim Eun-yan and Kudo. Our lead group just about to hit 35 kilometers. And there they go, 1:42. I believe it was 57. Get official confirmation in a second here. 56. Yes, 1:42.56 at 35 kilometers for this lead group of 9. 2:04.06 projected finish. So yeah, it has slowed quite a bit since 30 kilometers and that last pacer stepping off when the projected finish was still 2:03.50. Now down to 2:04.06. European record not looking in the works for Awani of Italy, but certainly national record well and truly in the cards for him. Okay, we may be seeing the first casualty off this group. Seif Utura of Ethiopia, 6th in Chicago last fall. 2:04.29 PB from Milan a few years back. 2:05.17 in that race in Chicago last fall. We saw him laboring a little bit earlier. He's now a couple strides behind this main pack after those drink tables. Okay, main chase group here, led by Hassan of Sweden. It's like 1:44.19 at 35 kilometers. Yeah, 1:44.19 at 35 kilometers. 2:05.46 projected finish for this big group here. 2:05.46, so nowhere near the Japanese national record. 10 seconds off Canadian national record for Cam Levins, who also seems to be a strider behind this group now. Potential national record here, potential national record for Hassan of Sweden, 2:05.57 here in Tokyo last year, currently on to 6:05:46 pace with 7 kilometers of running yet to go. Okay, but up front, Seifu Tura of Ethiopia has pulled back up to this group. Still 9 left as they approach the final turnaround point on the Tokyo Marathon course. And then it's just almost a complete straightaway back to the finish. Just 2 quick turns to get onto that cobblestone last kilometer, and then 1 turn right before the finish. Well, looking at the flags and the barriers and the banners here, it does look like the wind is blowing, so they will be turning into a headwind here momentarily. Headwind most of the way back, almost the entire way back to the finish. But again, not super strong. Not a super strong wind, and it could be a blessing if the temperatures are increasing here, especially with the left side of the road as we're looking at it right now, the return trip back up being almost entirely exposed to the sun. They're still picking up a lot of shade on this side of the road, but once they make a turnaround, they're going to be running mostly in the sun, so a little bit of wind could actually help. Yeah, okay, so as we see again, Seifu Tura of Ethiopia, who had dropped off just before that last water station, now fading again. Looks like also Vincent Nedich. Mukhtar Edris. I believe that's Barrega. Also falling off now. So yeah, Edris trying to hang on, but essentially it's down to 5 up front. Daniel Mateko of Kenya side by side with Mutiso in the front row there. Mateko's best performance at 2:04:24 for third in Valencia 2 years ago. Certainly puts him in contention for a race that's going on a low 2:04 pace. Japanese national record holder Suguru Osako now exerting a bit of control on this chase group, stringing them out single file. Kudo, the debuting Kudo, struggling to hang on to sub 2:06 pace. His half marathon best 60:06 certainly suggests that he has low 2:06 potential here. Kondo, Hassan also starting to drop off now. Levins of Canada hanging in. This is Kudo, still in college. He's been an extremely talented uphill runner on the Hakone Ekiden's legendary mountain climbing 5th stage, and then also that stellar 60:06 half marathon. Ani now dropping off. Just 4 left up front. Alexander Mutiso, Tadase Tekele, Jeffrey Torotic, and Daniel Mateko. Ani fading in a big hurry there. Run down by Edris, who had dropped off that pack earlier. As our lead quartet about to hit that final turnaround point momentarily here. Beautiful shot there of one of the icons of Tokyo architecture, Rainbow Bridge. Just adjacent to that final turnaround point on the Tokyo course. Given what happened in New York, you got to figure Mutiso does not want to leave this to the last second. Expect him to see it just. I would expect to see him just start to ratchet it down here if he's really going for the win. Go for a long bomb. Try not to leave it to the last second. And there they go. Mateko and Matiso lead the quartet around that last turnaround point. Chase group coming up. Feng of China, very likely still on national record pace here. Osako leading that splintering chase group. Looks like just Kiminyan, Suzuki, Levens behind him. A little bit of a couple steps back to Hassan of Sweden, Kondo. The debuting collegiate runner Kudo from Waseda University. A couple other stragglers from that lead group. And then a little ways back, we have our chase pack here. Sighting there of Tsubasa Ichiyama, who pulled off a race much like this last year to take the top Japanese spot, coming up from behind to run down some of the faster Japanese runners. Fast up front, 4 runners left. Alexander Matiso, second in New York last fall. Daniel Mateko, third in Valencia 2024. Defending champ, Tadase Tekele. Yeah, kind of as expected here in the women's race, we cut back, and I'm not sure exactly what we've seen there, but it looks like Bridget Kosuke was clocked first. Yes, okay, so Bridget Kosuke actually has pulled away from Sutume Asefa Kebede. I thought when we saw that Sutume was in front, but in fact at 35 kilometers, Bridget Kosuke, 1:50.40, leads our defending champion by 22 seconds. So looks like it's going to be the first win in 4 years of the Tokyo Marathon for Bridget Kosuke. 1:51.40, projecting to 2:14.38. So yeah, I mean, it's not like Sutume is having a bad race here. She's still on course record pace, like well on track to break her own course record by a minute or so. But Bridget Kosuke, way ahead now, 2:14.38, just getting faster and faster, like a minute 20 seconds or so under that course record pace. Yeah, and back up to our lead quartet, still all 4 together. Matiso, Mateko, Tarotic, just behind our defending champ, Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia. Anyone's race here. Not sure how much I believe the 3:02 followed by the 2:48 there. Kind of split those down the middle on that kilometer mark, but still like very, very good running here. Just waiting and waiting. This has got to be making Matiso nervous, given that very, very close loss in the last kick in New York in November. Osako and Suzuki right together. They've dropped all competition here, picking off people from that lead group. Osako, the fastest Japanese man ever at 2:04.55. Suzuki, all-time number 2 at 2:04.56. They trained together at altitude in the United States for this race. Now running right together for top Japanese honors here. They've just run down Shifera Tamru of Ethiopia. 2:05.18 best from Dubai, quite a ways back. So in fact, both these men, more accomplished, both these Japanese athletes have run under 2:05 in the past. Not going to do it today, but looking very likely that they will be Japanese 1-2 here in the Tokyo Marathon. Canada's Cam Levins trying to keep it rolling behind them. No change in the top 4. Just a few steps back. Awani of Italy on national record pace, trying to hang with Mukhtar Edris of Ethiopia. Great track runner. Stepped up to the marathon, 2:05:59, 5th place in Boston last year. We're nearing 40 kilometers for this lead quartet. The pace did slow a bit after the final pacemaker stopped at 30 kilometers. After the pace having gotten down to the 2:03:40 range at 35 kilometers, it was projected to be just over 2:04. Let's see what we have here momentarily. Matiso just completely focused. Defending champ Tadase Takale just biding his time right off Matiso's shoulder. Coming right up, 40 kilometers for elite quartet here. A bit slower than what we saw last year at this point in the race. But we're setting this up for just extremely dramatic finish here. 1:57. I believe that was 28. Official confirmation coming up. 27. 1:57:27 at 40 kilometers. Okay, so 2:03:54 projected finish. They have started pushing again after the turnaround point. All 4 athletes working together here to make this a faster race again. 2:03:54 projected finish time for all 4 of our top 4, with 2 kilometers to go at the Tokyo Marathon. Anybody's race here, all 4 runners together. Torotic looks to be working a little bit harder after that drink table. He's dropped his stride back, but still in it. He does look to be laboring a little bit harder than the others. A little bit further back, you can see Awani of Italy has lost contact with Edris, dropping back to 6th, but still well on national record pace for the Italian. Japanese national record holder Osaka still in control here, but right there with him is all-time Japanese number 2, at just 1 second, Kengo Suzuki. Tamru of Ethiopia hanging with them as well, 2:05 runner. Just Osaka completely focused, trying to catch up to Feng of China, who's also looking ready to set a national record here today in Tokyo. It's interesting, Osaka now runs for the Chinese brand, leaning. To see a Chinese athlete outrun the Japanese athlete in Japan would really be something. Looks like 1:59:25 for Feng at 40 kilometers. 2:05:59 projected finish time for him, so close to a minute under national record pace for Feng of China. Only question there is whether he's going to get under 2:06, and well, the other question being whether he can hold off Osaka and Suzuki. Okay, well, Torotic starting to make a push here. First time we've seen him really try to go ahead of Matiso like this. But still a 4-way race. Our defending champ Tadase Tekele at the rear of this quartet. We're going to have, it's 1,200 meters to go. We're going to have a very, very, very dramatic last kilometer here. So I think safe to say we are going to see a winning time under 2:04 here at the Tokyo Marathon. Probably all four of these guys under 2:04. Who's got the kick? Left turn onto that cobblestone last kilometer right here. One long straightaway, and then just before the finish, a last left-hand turn. Three Kenyans, one Ethiopian. It's a nightmare for Matiso after that narrow loss in New York. But Matiso starting to flex now. Pulls ahead of Torotic. Tadase Tekele coming up on his other shoulder. It's a great finish, the last kilometer here. It's so narrow that the fans are really close, get a lot of energy and support, but it's frustrating because you can't see the finish line until the very last second. That last left-hand corner makes it so that you can't see what's coming. Can be frustrating for runners. But no frustration there for Matiso yet, just continuing to push. Looks like he has cracked Daniel Mateko. And it appears to be down to three-way race? Yes. Mateko looks to be out of it now. Torotic struggling to hang on to Matiso. Tekele now. Last year's winner, Tadase Tekele. Running on the inside of the course. It is going to be a left-hand turn, so Matiso is losing a little bit by going to the outside in this. Yeah, looks like Tadase Tekele now. And step ahead of Alexander Matiso. But Torotic hasn't given up yet. Woohoo, love it. Defending champ, Tadase Tekele still in the lead. There's 42 kilometers, still can't see the finish line. Looks like Torotic is going to try to go by on the inside, but Tadase Tekele not having it. Alexander Matiso looks like he's out of it. Yeah, Tadase Tekele seconds away from second straight Tokyo Marathon victory. Not quite as fast as last year, but Tadase Tekele makes it 2 in a row at the 2026 Tokyo Marathon. 2:03:37 for the win, Jeffrey Torotic of Kenya. 2:03:37 also for second, Alexander Matiso. 2:03:38 for third place, Daniel Mateko of Kenya. 2:03:44 for fourth. Just a brilliant three-way sprint finish there after Mateko dropped off a little bit earlier. The great Mukhtar Edris coming through with a big PB. 2:04:08 unofficially for fifth place. 2:04:07, great for him. Italy's Ilias Anoani, not quite on that European record pace he hoped for, but a massive national record for the Italian. 2:04:27 unofficially. Could be 28. Let's see what the clock says. 2:04:26. 2:04:26 national record for Anoani of Italy, the bronze medalist at last fall's Tokyo World Championships. And what do we have here? Osako has dropped Suzuki there, pulling up right up on Feng here. Feng of China just a minute away from setting a national record, trying desperately to hold off the Japanese national record holder. Tamru of Ethiopia, who they had run down earlier, seems to have pulled away again. But who's going to take top Asian honors here at the Tokyo Marathon? China's Feng, Japan's Osako. Feng looks like he's doing his part to hold it off. Certainly going to run a Chinese national record here. The only question is, will it be under 2:06? Feeling like yes. Yeah, Feng now dropping Osako. The Chinese athlete will outrun the Japanese athlete here, or will he? Osako digging deep. But looks like Feng's going to hold him off. Tamer of Ethiopia comes through, 2:05.57. Feng, 2:05.58. Osako, 2:06 flat. We'll see those official times in a minute here. Yes, 2:05.58 national record for Feng of China. Osako, 2:05.59 officially. Suzuki, 2:06.09. Two national records so far here, Italy and China. Feng really stoked with that performance. Training partners for this Tokyo Marathon, Osako and Suzuki. Japan's all-time top two. Go 1-2 for Japan here, 2:05.59 and 2:06.09. Cam Levins coming through. Be just under 2:07. 2:06.50 or so. Last year's top Japanese man, Tsubasa Ichiyama, comes through as the third Japanese man. 2:06.57, two straight 2:06 performances here after 2:06.00 last year. Ryotaro Kondo, fourth Japanese man, 2:07.06. Again, the top 6 Japanese placers qualify for the LA Olympic Marathon Trials if under 2:09. That's 4 so far. Number 5, Shinsaku Kudo of Waseda University in his debut. Going to be around 2:07.30 for the 5th Japanese man. About 2:07.35 unofficially there for Kudo to qualify for the LA Olympic Trials. 2:07.34 officially. Kim Min-yeon there, 2:07.36 in his debut. I believe this is our 3rd place woman in the race. Welde. Bridget Koske, our leader, went through 40 kilometers in 2:07.28. 2:07.28 for our leader. This is our 3rd placer, as I said, Bertikon Welde of Ethiopia. Our leader, Bridget Koske, just continuing to get faster and faster. 2:07.28 at 40 kilometers, projecting to 2:14.28. Almost a minute and a half under the course record. I'll try to get a shot of her momentarily here. There's official confirmation there. Kosuke, 2:07.28 at 40K. Going to completely rewrite the course record here in Tokyo. That's, you know, Kosuke has a PB of 2:14.04, which was a world record at the time in Chicago when she won in 2019. She's getting very close to that here. Our 3rd placer, Welde, now through 40 kilometers. Okay, Welde appears to have moved into 2nd place. I'm not sure what's happened to Tsutomu Asafa Kebede. Okay, more men continuing to come in. Masato Arao just making it under the 2:10 mark, outrunning Ota seems to be struggling a bit there. Ota was second at last summer's Gold Coast Marathon, just ahead of Ryoma Takeuchi, who comes in just behind him again. Got to be frustrating for Takeuchi. Just over 2:10:30 on the clock right now, so we're expecting to see our women's winner, Bridget Kosuke, here within the next 4 minutes or so. She's got to be heading into that last straight pretty soon here. Try to get a shot of that as soon as we can. Again, it's not really clear yet what's happened for second place in the women's race. Okay, there we have a split now. Yes, so at 40 kilometers, it's Kosuke leads by almost 2 minutes, but Bertikon Welde has moved into second place, 23 seconds ahead of our defending champ, Tsutume. And yeah, finally, here we are with Bridget Kosuke in the last kilometer. Just going to destroy the course record here, getting very, very close to her PB. You know, former world record of 2:14:04. Yeah, those splits tell the story. Kosuke really hitting it after 30 kilometers when pacemakers stepped off. Just a short ways to go here to crown Bridget Kosuke as the 2026 Tokyo Marathon winner, her second Tokyo title in the last 5 years, having won in 2022 previously. All focus. It's a brilliant race. She spent the whole time side by side with defending champ Kebede of Ethiopia. Really looked to be struggling more. Continues to wince periodically here, but she just really put the hammer down since 30 kilometers. She's got to know her PB is close. I mean, the course record is not really a question here. Less than 500 meters to go. Again, at 40 kilometers, her projected finish was down to 2:14:28, 24 seconds off of her PB. That's a lot to find over just a little bit more than 2 kilometers. Can she do it? How close to 2:14 flat can Kebede get here? Not going to be 2:14 flat. It's looking under 2:14:30. And making that last turn. Massive course record here for Bridget Kosuke. Bridget Kosuke comes in for the Tokyo Marathon win. The massive 2:14:28 unofficial course record. We'll get official confirmation of her time in a second. 2:14:29 officially for Bridget Kosuke. Almost a minute and a half off the Tokyo Marathon course record. An incredible performance. It's the second fastest time of her career. Incredible. I don't think anybody anticipated the race going quite that fast today. Really stellar run there. Getting some congratulations from the amateur Japanese runner who paced her much of the way. Yeah, and pulling up from third to run down our defending champ. Berticon Welde, 2:17.56 best. He's going to massively improve that here. On track for second place in Tokyo Marathon. Looking likely to take at least a minute off of her PB. Just a great run here from her. Again, this really builds on the fantastic 2025 that Berticon had with her win in Prague in the spring, followed by a 2:17.56 PB for second in Amsterdam. Yeah, 2:17.56 was that PB. Going to be way, way, way under that today. Right around 2:16.30, it looks like. So almost a minute and a half off of her PB. For Tokyo Marathon runner-up, Berticon Welde. 2:16.36 officially, 2:16.36 officially. Massive PB for Tokyo Marathon runner-up, Berticon Welde. A great run from her to hang on, run down our defending champ over the last couple of kilometers. And here comes our defending champion, Situme Asfakebede of Ethiopia. It looks like she's got some competition right behind her. Howie Fesa. Likely to hang on for third here. I think she knows. Fesa really trying to catch. Trying to make it a sprint finish here. Oh, Fesa gets it. Painful. 2:17.38 unofficially for Howie Fesa to run down defending champion Situme Asfakebede right before the line for third place here in the Tokyo Marathon, knocking Kebede back to fourth. 2:17.38 to 2:17.39. Third last year, third again this year. Great run there, great finish from Howie Fesa. Cutting to our award ceremony here with our two straight men's champion, Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia. 2:03.37 is the official winning time there for our men's champion. Another great run from him to win in a four-way sprint finish. Presenting the gold medal, Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike. Now presenting the laurel wreath to our champion is two-time Olympic marathon medalist and head of the JAF, Yuko Arimori. And our champion's trophy goes to champion Tadase Tekele, presented by Mr. Akihiro Kosaka, president of major sponsor Tokyo Metro Co. Limited. Some great racing skills there on display from our men's champion Tadase Tekele to take his second Tokyo Marathon title, 2 in a row, both sub 2:04. Great run on a tough day. Looks like Mongolian marathon national record holder Serhat Badashir getting just under the 2:20 mark there. It was about 2:19.38 finish for him. Lots of others trying to get under that 2:20 barrier there. Sprint finishes. Not sure who that is, but he just got under, and yes, looks like that women's finisher was right on 2:20 flat, maybe 1 second under. That was Mestowit Fikir of Ethiopia, 2:20.00, taking 7th place. No sign of Rosemary Wanjiru yet. Our past champion. We had Viola Cheptu of Kenya taking 6th place, 2:19.05. We've had our first 8 finishers in yet, but still no sign yet of Rosemary Wanjiru. We haven't had any Japanese women come in yet. Still very, very fast times. The only Japanese woman in the field who had PB close to this kind of level, Ai Hasoda. Really not running that kind of race today, so maybe a few minutes yet before we see a top Japanese finisher. This may be Wanjiru coming in here now. And this is our 9th Japanese, or our 9th female finisher. No, sorry, that was Jeff Kosuke coming in 9th. Yes, Pascalia Jeff Kosuke. 9th place in the Tokyo Marathon with a 2:21.39 PB. It's good. Improvement on her PB by over 1 minute. Here's our top Japanese athlete, Ai Hasoda. Really extremely talented, 2:20.31 PB in Berlin, 2024, just a year and a half ago, but has announced that today is going to be her last race. She's already qualified for the LA Olympic trials, but does not want to hang on for that. Said she hoped to go out with a negative split, a race that she could walk away from with a smile. It's going to be an excellent time from her. You know, she's still at the top of her abilities, but gave a really interesting interview at the time that she announced her retirement, saying that she just felt that she had lost the motivation, her personal motivation, and found that she was just continuing on to try to meet others' expectations, and so wanted to put an end to things while she was still on top of her game. So a great run from her here. Going to be mid 2:23 for 10th place for Ai Hasoda in her last race, last competitive race of her career. Congratulations to her. Ai Hasoda of Japan, retiring with a 10th place finish at the 2026 Tokyo Marathon. 2:23.40 unofficially. 2:23.39 the official time on the clock. Great run. Lots of people would be happy to run that kind of time, but that's it for Ai Hasoda. Congratulations on a great career. So that's our top 10 in the women's race. Bringing to a wrap the front end of this year's Tokyo Marathon. Stellar race that saw wins from our favorites in the wheelchair race. Second win in a row from Tadasek Tekele of Ethiopia. National record for Italy from Elias Aouani. 2:04.26 for 6th. Just some great performances all around there. 4 under 2:04 is fantastic. Really brilliant national record there for Aouani. Also national record for Feng of China. I think he was like just outside the top 10. Yeah, Feng of China 11th. Our women's top 10. Bridget Kosuke, spectacular new course record here, 2:14.29 at the Tokyo Marathon. Great run for her. Big PB for second place for Bertakan Welde. How we face running down our defending champions, Sutume Asafa Kebede, at the line, both of them clocking in at 2:17.39. Further down the field, Japan's Ai Hosoda retiring with a 2:23.39. Great run for 10th place. And after one race, this is the Abbott World Marathon Majors Series 18 men's leaderboard. Our winners today, Takele and Kozge, both lead with 25 points each. Ramping down to 1 point each for fifth placers, Mukhtar Edris and Megertu Alemu, both of Ethiopia. Wheelchair race, no surprise there. The great Marcel Hug taking the win with a 1:21.09. Number 2 ranked Luo Jingchuan of China, 1:28.08 for second. And then Japan's Sho Watanabe, quite a ways back, third place, 1:33.10. Not sure what happened to Tomoki Suzuki. A race morning announcement of a withdrawal. Japanese national record holder, defending champ, course record holder. We'll find out post-race what his situation was. Take a look at the women's wheelchair results. Again, no surprises here. Catherine de Brunner of Switzerland, world record holder, course record holder, defending champ, wins it again, 1:37.15 with all-time number 2, Eden Rainbow Cooper, just holding off China's Zhao Quinn for second, both of them clocking 1:41.13. It's a great performance from Zhao. Japanese national record holder Tsubasa Nakamine, 7th, 1:41.20. Another photo finish against the great Wakako Tsujita, also of Japan. So as the masses continue to come in here, it's a beautiful shot there of Tokyo Station's Marunouchi side, really a scenic choice for the finish line of the current iteration of the Tokyo Marathon course. Very interesting races, I think, on both the men's and women's side in the elite marathons. I think there was a bit of uneasiness, perhaps, about the conditions, the impact that conditions would have on the flow of the race, the evolution of the race, with rising temperatures, some wind expected, and then the cedar pollen problem in the air that arose yesterday. But relatively conservative starts in both the men's and women's marathons did produce very fast times. Massive new course record in the women's race. Not quite as fast as last year in the men's race for our two-time champion Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia, but still at 2:03.37. It's great. Thrilling three-way sprint finish there in the men's race. Hard to ask for more. Multiple national records here, national records at least for Italy and China. I'm just looking down to see. I don't spot Ireland's Curtin in there. I'm not sure if he got the Irish national record. We'll look a little bit deeper further on. But at least 2 national records here. Great day. Training partners for the Tokyo Marathon on Japan's all-time top 2 men, Osako and Suzuki, finish 1-2 on the Japanese podium. 2:05.59 and 2:06.09 for 12th and 13th. But Osako just losing out to China's Feng with a national record 2:05.58 for 11th. Fantastic run for Feng. Really taking Chinese marathoning to the next stage. And a look at our women's field here. Okay, yeah, so Ruth Wanjiru, our past champion, ended up at 11th place, well behind that stellar new course record of 2:14.29 by Bridget Kozge. Ai Hosoda of Japan retiring with a 2:23.39 for 10th. Wanjiru coming in 2:24.47. Japan's a couple of Chinese athletes coming in, 2:26. Excellent runs from them. Japan's Yumi Yoshikawa, 2:27.21 for 14th. I believe that's just off what she needed to qualify for the Olympic trials. I believe that was 2:27 flat. She needed to qualify for the LA Olympic trials, so just off that, unfortunately. 17 women across the line so far. And looks like number 18 just coming across now. Again, deeper look at the results in our men's wheelchair race. Won by Marcel Huggen, 1:21.09. Excellent run from him. And momentarily we'll have a deeper look at our women's wheelchair results. There we go, top 10 in our women's wheelchair race. Catherine de Brunner winning 1:37.15. Eden Rainbow Cooper, all-time number 2, just holding off China's Zhao Qin for second, 1:41.13 for both of them. Tatiana McFadden, fourth, 1:41.15, just back. Three-way sprint finish there for fifth, with Japanese record holder Tsubasa Nakamine coming in seventh, 1:41.20. Tokyo Paralympics gold medalist Madison de Rosario of Australia, 1:52.08 for 10th. And a look at the Series 18 bonus points. Both Hug and World Marathon Majors, Abbott World Marathon Majors Series 18 bonus points. Both Marcel Hug and Catherine de Brunner of Switzerland earned 8-point bonus for having been the top athlete through 10 kilometers in the wheelchair races. And again, as we saw in the men's and women's marathons, the elite marathons, here is our wheelchair race leaderboard for the Abbott World Marathon Majors Series 18. After just one race here in Tokyo today, Marcel Hug and Catherine de Brunner make it a 1-2 lead, or a double lead for Switzerland with her 3 points apiece. Going all the way down to Geert Schipper of the Netherlands in 5th and Vanessa de Souza of Brazil in 5th with 1 point apiece. Of course, with more races still to come this season in Boston and London for the spring, expect to see a lot more development on the leaderboards at both the elite level and the wheelchair race. But you know, based on how the 2 Swiss athletes performed today, you can expect to see them looking pretty dominant in their further races this season. See a lot of happy faces here as people are coming in. Still a lot of laboring faces out on the course. Many hours, many miles to go for the masses here, but just conditions possibly better than expected. You know, it was a little bit on the warmer side of ideal, perhaps, as our top people were coming in. It is expected to keep getting a little bit warmer by the time some of these mass participation runners will reach the finish line. But maybe not as much of an issue as people feared. Yoshikawa and Mori are top 2 Japanese women in the race today. Yoshikawa just missing out on qualifying for the Olympic trials, but solid PB for her. Or sorry, not PB, solid run for her, following up on a half marathon PB in January. That's career second best marathon for her. The brunt of Japan's marathon season falls over about a 7-week span from the end of January through mid-March. The Tokyo Marathon is the last of the big marathons for men. Women have one more big one to go next week in Nagoya, the world's largest women-only marathon, the Nagoya Women's Marathon. That will be pretty much the last major race this season, where we'll see significant additions to the list of qualifiers for Japan's Olympic marathon trials. I mentioned early on at the start of the race, you could see the kind of depth that the Japanese races have just in the massive packs up front. You know, that depth extends well down to this level here, you know, the 230, 240 level. So we'll have kind of a good sense of what the depth of this season looks like following Nagoya. And I'll be doing a feature article on that for Outside, which will be published in late March. Take a look at that if you're interested in the numbers behind just the massive depth of Japanese running at all levels, especially at the elite level. That's one of the things, as we saw, you know, national record holders from 6 countries came to run in the men's race this year. And that one of the reasons for that is just exactly that kind of depth. We call it the Shinkansen effect, the bullet train effect, where people can just come and get into these massive packs that are just going to go hard, hop on and ride it to fast times. There are races all across the year, you know, especially from November through March, just races, half marathons, marathons, where you can get that kind of Shinkansen effect. So if you're somebody who's looking to run a fast time, definitely try to come to one of the big Japanese marathons and ride the train until your destination comes.
さあ2時間と37分経過いたしました。続々と多くのね、ランナーたちがフィニッシュ。
And as the mass participation runners continue to come in, we're just waiting for the women's award ceremony for the winner, and then we'll also have coverage of the wheelchair victory ceremonies and a quick wrap up to what proved to be a record-breaking edition of the Tokyo Marathon on both the men's and women's side. Fast times in the wheelchair races, a massive new women's course record, at least 2 national records, Italy and China in the men's race, and on and on and on. Many more fast times across the board. And here we have a quick interview with our men's winner, Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia. Question was about, he didn't really know he was going to win until the very last minute. How did it feel to pull off that exciting sprint finish?
ዘንድሮም ለማሸነፍ የበቃውበት ምክንያት ጥሩ ካምና የተሻለ ትሬኒንጎች ሰርቻለሁ እና ደግሞ ጥሩ ፉክክር ነበር። የመጨረሻውን ደግሞ ያው በጣም ከባድ ነበር፣ ግን የተሻለ ስፒድ በመሄድ አንደኛ መውጣት ችያለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ።
今回再び優勝することができた理由は今までより良いトレーニングをついてきたからです。
I was able to win for a second time because I did the best training of my career so far. Some of it was hard. There were some hard parts, but I was able to turn out some speed like I never had before and pull off the win. The question is, with the Olympics coming up, what are your targets for the next couple of years?
የወደፊት ዓላማዬ ከፊት ለፊቴ ያለውን ኦሎምፒክ በደንብ ተዘጋጅቼ ለማሸነፍ ነው እና ደግሞ የወደፊት ዓላማዬ ሪከርዱን ማሻሻል ነው።
私の目標ですが、オリンピックのために準備をして優勝することです。そして将来は記録を破りたいと思います。
Yeah, my goal is to prepare to be in a position to win in the Olympics and to just keep pushing my times faster and faster. Okay, short but sweet interview there from our men's champion, Tarasa Tekele. Now the medal ceremony for our women's course record-breaking champion, Bridget Kosuke of Kenya, with an incredible 2:14.29.
はじめに東京マラソン2026大会会長小池百合子東京都知事より
And presenting the gold medal once again, Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike, also our guest starter today. Race couldn't happen without her. Presenting the laurel wreath, again, two-time Olympic marathon medalist and head of the Japanese Federation, Yuko Arimori, really a groundbreaker in the industry here in Japan. And last and most certainly not least, presenting our champion's trophy to Bridget Kosuke, Akihiro Kosaka, president of Tokyo Metro, principal sponsor of the Tokyo Marathon. So yeah, congratulations to Bridget Kosuke on just a stellar course record here. You really got to give it to her. You know, her last three marathons, 2:18.56 in Sydney last fall, followed by 2:16.36 in Shanghai, and now a 2:14.29 here in Tokyo, just chopping off 2 minutes plus in each race. It's incredible. So the question is, you broke both the course record and the record for the fastest marathon ever in Japan. How'd you feel?
I ran a course record. Last 2022, I come here, but I ran 2:16.04. This is my second time to be here, so I'm very happy to be a winner and to run course record. Yeah.
今日はとても嬉しいです。前回2022年に来た時には2時間16分4秒だったんですけれども、今回2回目の出場で大幅に記録も更新できて、とても嬉しく思っています。
東京マラソンは4年ぶり2回目、この東京マラソンでは負けたことがありません。今日のレース振り返っていかがですか？
Yeah, so the question is, you're 2 for 2 here in Tokyo. What's your secret?
My secret is to just go and work hard. For now, I just go and relax a bit, and then I will know what next race will I go. So I'm just going and relax a bit, and then train good, work hard, and discipline. Yeah.
ここまで今回のマラソンについてもとてもいい練習を積めてきたので、もう今日はそれを全部出し切ってレースをするだけだと思っていました。それが結果としてきちんと出すことができたことが嬉しく思います。
今回で11度目のマラソン優勝となりました。今後の目標を聞かせてください。
This is your 11th marathon win of your career. What are you targeting after this?
Now my next goal I cannot predict. My next goal is just I'm aiming Olympic on 2028 Los Angeles. That's my only aim. Yeah.
次はやはりオリンピックですね。ロサンゼルスオリンピックに出るということが今の一番大きな目標になっています。
優勝しましたブリジット・コスゲイ選手でした。ありがとうございました。
東京マラソン
And the award ceremony for our men's wheelchair champion,
マルセル・フグ選手にお
Marcel
越しい
Hug
ただきました。
of Switzerland. 1:21.09.
ここでマルセル・フグ選手の栄誉をたたえ表彰をさせていただきます。はじめに東京マラソン2026大会会長小池百合子東京都知事より金メダルが贈られます。
And presenting the medal once again, Governor of Tokyo, Yuriko Koike.
続きまして公益財団法人日本パラスポーツ協会 森和幸会長よりリーブ冠が贈られます。
Kazuki Mori, President of the Japan Parasports Association. Congratulating our men's champion, Marcel Hugo of Switzerland.
マルセル・フグ選手、おめでとうございます。プレゼンターの皆様、ありがとうございました。それでは優勝者インタビューです。3大会ぶりの出場で4度目の優勝となりました。レース振り返っていかがでしょうか。
That's your first time back in 3 years and your fourth win here in Tokyo. How was it?
Also den ersten Platz errungen, insgesamt 4 Male haben Sie die Goldmedaillen gewonnen. Wie fühlen Sie sich und wie war das Rennen heute?
Ja, ich fühle mich sehr gut, sehr happy, sehr glücklich, dieses Rennen hier wieder gewinnen zu können. Es war sehr streng, dieser Marathon. Es war sehr schnell, sehr gute Bedingungen auf dem Wetter. Leider ein bisschen viel Wind. Aber ja, ich habe mich stark gefühlt und bin sehr zufrieden mit meiner Leistung heute.
はい、今日はですね、とてもよく走れたと思っています。スピードもよく出ましたし、ただちょっと天気の方がですね、少し風が強かったんですけれども、
I think it was a good race. It was good. I'm happy, but conditions were tough. The wind was quite strong, and I think that played a role in the overall
10キロ地点
performance.
まではラコーデン選手と並走していました。その後独走状態でしたが、どんなレースプランだったんでしょうか。
So, bis zur Strecke, also 15 Meter.
So you went pretty hard and had some company through 10 kilometers, and then on your own after that, what kind of race plan did you have?
Ja, es war sehr gut, dass er mit dabei war. Wir konnten die Führungsarbeit abwechseln und so konnte ich auch ein bisschen im Windschatten erholen. Ich hätte gehofft, dass wir noch ein bisschen länger zu zweit fahren könnten und so die Führungsarbeit teilen. Aber ich war dann schon ein bisschen früh alleine vorne weg und so musste ich dann alleine die Führung absolvieren.
はい、ロー選手とは最初互角でですね、お互いが助け合いながら相互に戦い合っていたんですけれども、もう少し長くですね、15キロ以上も戦いたいと思いましたけれども、私の方が少し先にスピードを出して出てしまったという形になって、それで独走を遂げたというそんなレース展開だったです。
I kind of anticipated Lowell giving me a race for it over the first 10K, but to be honest, I kind of hoped he hung on till 15K. So it was hard going that long by myself. The question was, what are your goals for this season?
Ja, mein Ziel ist es sicher, die Major Series wieder gut zu machen und hoffentlich auch zu gewinnen. Das ist mein Ziel. Und ich denke, hier ist mir jetzt ein sehr guter Start gelungen an Tokio Marathon. Und ja, bin sehr zufrieden mit dem Start in die Saison. Es ist noch sehr früh in dieser Saison, aber ich glaube, meine Formkurve, mein Formstand ist schon sehr gut für diese Zeit.
はい、まずですね、ワールドメジャーマラソンではもう確実に勝ちたいと思っていますけれども、今回の東京マラソンでまずとても良いスタートが切れたということが良いと思います。
Yeah, I want to win the Abbott World Marathon Majors, and winning here in Tokyo was a good start to that. And I'm pretty satisfied with how I did it, and I think that puts me in a good position for the rest of the season.
東京マラソン2026車椅子女子優勝のカテリーヌ・デブルナー選手にお越しいただきました。
Award ceremony here for Catherine De Brunner, our women's champion.
はじめに東京マラソン2026大会
Once again presenting
小池百合子
the gold medal,
より
Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike.
続きまして公益財団法人日本パラスポーツ協会森和幸会長よりオリーブ冠が贈られます。
Okay, and one more time for the laurel wreath by Kazuki Mori, president of the Japanese Parasports Association.
カテリーヌ・デブルナー選手おめでとうございます。プレゼンターの皆様ありがとうございました。それでは優勝者インタビューです。 2回目の出場で大会連覇となりました。今日のレース振り返っていかがでしょうか。
So this was your second time running Tokyo and 2 wins in a row.
I feel extremely exhausted, to be honest. It has been a very, very tough race. There was a lot of wind, and yeah, it was a big fight, but we were really good group. I had at the beginning my teammate Ethan Rainbow Cooper, who was really strong in the downhill and who pushed me really well, so that helped me a lot. And then at some point I was alone and I just tried to keep my rhythm, and then I found some guys and I tried to chase them, and yeah, I'm really happy with this second victory, but it was definitely very tough.
正直今非常に疲れているっていうのが一番の感想になります。非常に難しいレースで風が多くかなりプッシュしていかないと進めないようなレースでした。で最初一緒に走ってたグループの中にチームメンバーのイーデン・レンボ・クルーパー選手がいたので彼女は下り坂がとても得意というのでかなり助けられたところがありました。で途中一人で走っていたんですけれども途中から男性選手と合流できたので彼らと一緒にくっつきながら走って完走することができました。
新シーズン最初のレースで優勝となりましたが、今シーズンの目標を教えてください。
So this is your first big win, first race of the season. What's your goal for this entire season?
First of all, it's always very important how you start a new season, and I'm incredibly happy to start with a victory. You should never take it for granted to win, and we have such a strong women's field, and I'm really happy, and it gives me confidence for the next races. And I'm just very much looking forward for all the marathons. All the courses are so different, and that makes it super interesting.
今シーズン初のレース優勝をすることができて非常に嬉しいです。で、今女性選手非常に強い選手が多いのでその中でこうして優勝できたことは大きな自信にもつながりますし、今シーズンの他のマラソンのコースも東京とまた全く違うものになってくるのでそこも頑張りながら、やっていきたいと思います。
ありがとうございます。カテリーヌ・デブルナー選手でした。
Okay, and with that, that brings to a conclusion this year's Tokyo Marathon. Again, great races in all four. Just dominant performances by our wheelchair winners, Marcel Hug and Catherine de Brunner. Course record from Bridget Kosuke, and a great 2 in a row from our men's champ, Tadase Takele. My name is Brett Larner, editor of Japan Running News. Thanks for watching.